Hello all, my name is Rahul and welcome to this session on Java language. In this video, we will try to understand the increment and decrement concept in Java language. Operators, I will be discussing in the coming lectures, so you don't have to worry about the operator concept. Let's only concentrate on increment and decrement concept in this video lecture. So increment and decrement in Java, you can see I have listed down some points over here which you can refer to understand it. So let's discuss each and every point one by one. It is one of the variations of arithmetic operator. What does arithmetic operator mean? Arithmetic operators are those operators in Java language which we use to perform the mathematical operation. Now, in order to give you more clarity on it, I have again listed down some important points you can see over here. So we have some basic arithmetic operators available in Java language, and those operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So using these all operators, what we do is we perform the mathematical operation. Second point is it is operated on only numeric data type. So if you have any numeric data types, it could be primitive data types, right? Because we have seen if you use primitive data types which are of numeric data types, then you will be able to perform this all operators on that: addition, subtraction, multiplication and all. If you have non-primitive data type like string or any other data types, so on those data types you will not be able to perform these all operations, mathematical operations, because mathematical operations is only for numeric data types. If you have not watched this video on data types, you can go and you can just refer lecture 7, data types in Java language, in order to understand it. Third point, you can see these are binary operators. Binary operators operate on two or more than two operands. Now, what does operands mean? So operands are the values used on either side of an operator. Now, if you can see here the example, here we have int, this is the data type, and a is the variable name. Now here you can see 3 and 2. This 3 and 2 are the values, and plus what is this? This is an addition operator. So on the either side you can see the values, and these two values we call it as operands. So here 3 and 2 are the operands, and plus is the binary arithmetic operator which is of addition type, and it is operating on two operands, that is 3 and 2 value, right? So I have also listed down some arithmetic operators table. So this all you can easily refer to perform the mathematical operation. So we will also discuss the real time in coming lectures on the operator section as well. Now we also have assignment operator. So this is we use to assign the values in variables. So you can also refer this table to understand it. Now second point, if we discuss, then second point we have something as increment and decrement operators are unary operator. Now unary operator, what does it mean? So you can see unary operator, it requires only one operand to operate. So if you have only one operand and you want to perform the operators action on that operator, we call it as unary operator in Java language. So examples would be any negative number or increment or decrement, so that we will be discussing. So example you can see here. So if I have a value, so if I give you more example on it, let's say int a equals to 10, right? Now what I want is I want to print negative value for I want output as -10. In that case, what I will do is I will just say a equals to minus a over here. So what we are doing, we are just reinitializing the value with the negative. Now if you just say SOP of a, then you will get output as -10. So you can see I have only one value, and on this value we are performing what? Operators, right? That's why we call it as unary operator in Java language. Now to understand the third point, increment operator is those operator which is used to increase a value by 1 on which it is operating, and decrement is something used to decrease the value by 1. Now we have two types of increment and decrement operator. First one is pre-increment or pre-decrement operator. Second one is post-increment or post-decrement operator. Now if we talk about the syntax, then plus symbol increment operator and negative symbol decrement operator. Now let's talk about pre-increment and post-increment first. After that we will discuss about pre-decrement and post-decrement. Now here you can see I have this example: pre-increment plus plus I. Now plus plus I, you can see I have splitted this two in two parts, plus plus separately and I separately. So plus plus is an operator here and I is the variable name. Now if you want to get the value as a pre-increment or post-increment, if you see plus plus symbol coming before the variable name, then that concept we call it as pre-increment. If plus plus symbol is coming after the variable name, then we call it as post increment. So we got to know plus plus I. So plus plus I is for pre-increment, right? Now here you can easily understand this. If you see plus plus symbol before the variable name, then what we will have to do is we just have to increment the value first, and after that you will have to use the incremented value. It means, let's say, if I just show you an example. So let's say I have A, and let's discuss about first pre-increment. So plus plus A, it means if you have a plus plus A and we know this plus plus is coming before the variable name, then in that case what you will have to do is you first have to increase the value, and after that use the increased value. Let's take an example. I have int A equals to 0 here. Now what it says plus plus A, it means this is pre-increment. So what we will have to do, first we will have to increment the value and after that use it. So increment the value, so 0. If you add 1 in 0, then we will get output as 0 plus 1, 1. First increase the value and after that use it. So if you try to get the SOP of plus plus A, then you will get output as 1. It means if you see in your program, if this plus plus symbol is coming before the variable name, first you will have to increase it and after that use the increased value. Let's discuss about post increment. Post increment, it says use after the variable name, right? And use the value first and then increment it. Then what we'll have to do, let's take an example. So example is, let's say A plus plus. So you can see here it says plus plus use after the variable name. So this is the variable name, A is the variable name, and this is coming, plus plus operator is coming after the variable name. So we got to know, okay, this is a post increment example. Now here let's take an example. If we have in program, if we have given int A equals to 1. Now what we will have to do, you will have to use the value first. It means you will get, if you say SOP of A plus plus, then you will get output as what? You will get output as 1, and in some memory it will store the updated value, and the updated value would be 2, right? So this is the concept of pre-increment and post-increment. Now to give you more understanding, please see this. Pre-increment, we have split it into two parts, plus plus separately and I. So plus plus is operator and I is the variable name. So if operator is coming before the variable name, then what we will have to do, we will have to first increment the value and after that use the updated one. In case of post increment, it will the operator will come after the variable name. So in that case you will have to first use the value and after that update the value. So example, you can see int I equals to 0. Now SOP of plus plus I, we will get output as 1, because plus plus I, first we will have to increase the value. What is the value? Value is 0. Now we are going to increase it by 1. So if you say 1, then the value will get increased to 1 and your output will be 1. Now if you see int I equals to 0, and if you try I plus plus, plus plus is coming after the variable name, it means first use the value. So we will get the output as 0, and in some memory it will store the updated value as 1. So later on if you try to print again SOP of I plus plus, then you will get the output as 1 in your command prompt or console section. Same as like increment, we have a concept as pre-decrement or post-decrement. Minus minus symbol used before the variable name. So the same thing here also. If you can see, what here we are doing is we are segregating this in two parts, minus minus and I. So if minus minus is coming before the variable name, then we call it as pre-decrement. So in case of pre-decrement, in case of increment, what we were doing, we were increasing the value by 1. Here you will have to decrement the value by 1. So first you will have to decrement the value by 1 and after that use it. So minus minus I, minus minus is coming before the variable name. It means this is of pre-decrement type. If it is pre-decrement type, what is the value given? Value given is 0. What we will have to do? First we will have to decrement the value. So decrement it by 1 so the output would be -1. In case of post decrement, what would be the syntax? Syntax would be minus minus use after the variable name. As a part of action, use the value first and then increment it. So if the value is 0, then what would be the output? First use it, so use the value as it is 0, and after that it will decrement it, so decrement it by -1. The updated value would be -1 in the memory. Now let's understand it using the example. So I'll create a simple example to get the concept of increment and decrement. So I'll create one file here. So I'll take class sample 11, and here, so this is the class I have taken, sample 11. So I'll just say int a equals to 1 over here. Now the action is a equals to plus plus a first. Right now, if I just say system system.out.println, and I'll just say a value. Now let me just save it. So I'll just save this in the Java tutorial folder with the name of sample11.java. Now I'll just go to that location and we'll try to open the CMD. So let me just open the CMD over here. Now what I'll do is I'll just say compilation. I'll have to do compilation. So I'll say Java C sample 11.java. I have compiled it, so there is no any syntax error in this program. Now what should be the output? So we have used plus plus variable name after the plus plus operator. It means first increase the value and after that use it. So output should be what? Output should be 2, because we are going to update the value of 1 by 1. So it will add 1 more in one value and you will get the output as 2. So if I just try to interpret this, so I should get output as what? 2 over here. Now the same thing we will understand using post increment. So let's say I'll say int b equals to 1, b should be equals to b plus plus, and I'll say system.out.println. Right now, if I just say b over here, now if I just save it, now what should be the output for b? So here b equals to 1. Now what we are doing? We are doing the post increment. How we got to know? Because plus plus symbol we have used after the variable name. Plus plus symbol comes after the variable name. It means that is of post increment type. If it is of post increment type, then what we will do is we will first use it, and in the memory it will update the incremented value. So here I should get an output as 1 itself. Now let me try to recompile it and I'll interpret it. So you can see, right? You can see here this was the pre-increment, so I got output as 2, and this is the post increment, that's why I got an output as 1. So this is the concept of pre-increment, and this is the concept of post increment. Now let's understand this also. So I'll say int c, and here I'll say c equals to minus minus c, and we'll see the output of c here. Right, so this is what? This is pre-decrement. Why decrement? Because we have used negative symbol over here. Right, that's right. Now if you try to understand, so c is 1. Now what it says? C equals to minus minus c. It means minus minus is coming before the variable name. So this is of pre-decrement type. If it is of pre-decrement type, then what we will have to do? We will have to first decrement the value and then use it. Decrement the one value by 1. It means we will get output as 0. Now let's try to compile and see the output. So I'll just say cls and I'll recompile the code, and I'll just see. So you can see 2 is for pre-increment, 1 is for post increment, and 0 is for pre-decrement. Now let's understand post decrement as well, and I'll just rename it to d, and here also d. Now what should be the output here? So d equals to 1. So it says d minus minus. It means minus minus is coming after the variable name. If it is coming after the variable name, then what we will have to do? We will have to use the value first, then decrement it. So use the value. So output should be what? 1 over here, and it will update the value as 0 in the memory, and later on if you try to retrieve that value, then you will get the updated value as 0. Right, now let's try to recompile the code. So you can see 2101. Right, so pre-decrement, because this symbol was coming before the variable name, that's why what we did here, we incremented the value and used it. If plus plus symbol is coming after the variable name, then what we will have to do? We will have to first use the value. It means here the output would be 1 itself. and after that uh, increase it. So in the memory it would be something 2 somewhere. Later on, if you try to if you try to retrieve the statement, you will get the output as 2. Same as like pre-decrement, because minus minus was coming before the variable name, that's why we call it as pre-decrement. And in this case also, first we will have to decrement it by 1 and after that use it. Post decrement, if minus minus is coming after the variable name, then that would be of post decrement type. So as a part of this, you will have to use it, and later on it will update the value as 0 in the memory location somewhere. So one more thing, this is very important. So if you are using pre-increment or post-decrement concept, then definitely final keyword will not work here if you use final, because what we are doing here, we are updating the value, right? So if you use final over here, and if you try to perform the pre-increment, post-increment, pre-decrement or post-decrement value, then it will throw and compile time error. Please make a note of this. So let's check this one as well, so you can see what it says. So the error we are getting is cannot assign a value to final variable a, because as a part of final variable, if you have not watched this video, you can go and you can just refer lecture 10. I have discussed all the possible points uh, in lecture 10, so please refer it. Please watch this video and do like and share if you liked it. So here you can see final. So the value is 1. As a part of final variable, we have already seen it. If you use final keyword in your variable declaration, then you will not be able to modify or update the value. It means it will only give you the assigned value. It will not allow you to change the value. But here what we are doing, we have one value, but using the plus plus operator, the pre-increment operator, we are updating the value from 1 to 2. That's why it is throwing a compile time error and you will not be able to use it. So this is very important thing. If someone asks you, if we have plus plus operator, if we are trying to perform the pre-increment or post-increment operator, what will happen if I use final in the variable declaration? You will have to say it will throw a compile time error. Why? Because final if you use, then it will not allow you to update the value. So this is all about this video, guys. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and do let me know your feedback in the comment section. Till then, please stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.